I get out of my side, and no sooner do you know, you start hearing gunshots going off. I look up about it was 5 gunshots. I look up maybe at the second or third gunshot. That's when I look up,
to StreetTV.
and you see Tory. He's now in the front seat. I guess he must have jumped over. It was very smooth transition because we didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. And he's leaning over. The door is open, and he's leaning over like the window.
Which door? Is it the rear door?
The front right. So where Megan was sitting.
Okay, so his door's open in the
driver's
side.
My door's open in the back, and the front door is open to where Megan got out. The front right passenger.
Both doors on the passenger side
are open. Correct. So.
And is he shooting through the window or over the top of the door?
No, he's shooting over the top of the door. So
over the top of the door would be the rear passenger door.
The right front passenger. So, again, as I said, he must have jumped, or I don't know how he did it because it was very very smooth. And he was leaning over the front passenger door, and, she was shooting the gun.
Where were you standing at this point?
At this point, I'm standing kind of like my body's still like to the side behind the door, the rear passenger door. So I would say my left side was the rear passenger, and my right side was kind of like this. Like this is the door, and I'm.
Are you still partially in the car at this point?
No, I'm out of the vehicle. Okay. I'm out of the vehicle. I'm just not around my door yet.
Yeah.
So. Do you know where's Megan?
So I was about to speak on Megan. So she was walking away when this happened, but by the third, fourth shot, and by the time I look up, she's facing
You're
towards
listening to
us.
StreetTV.
I've described it like a deer in headlights. Mm-hmm. I'm short. I'm 4'11". The vehicle is kind of a little raised up, higher than me, so I can't really see. I can only see from her chest up. That's all I can see. But the way Tory was angling the gun is kind of like, it wasn't like straight. It was like, down.
Mm-hmm. It was down in her direction?
Definitely in her direction. In the air, definitely in her direction. So at that point, we kind of were in shock,
Did you hear him say anything as he was shooting?
He did not say anything.
Okay.
There was no words at that point,
What was Quan doing? Could you tell?
I think everybody was in shock.
Okay, so he wasn't.
He wasn't
part
even
of it.
At this point right here. He wasn't part of this. What I'm about to get into next. I can't tell you guys where Tory pulled the gun from. Like I said, the motion when he first threatened me was middle console, but I don't know if that's where the gun was.
But you had said he referenced shooting y'all earlier while you're in the car, right?
He threatened to shoot me.
As if he had a gun
Correct.
in his control somewhere.
Correct.
Okay.
And so after the shots rang, it was like I said, 5 shots. We kind of froze, and by the time I get back into I snapped. Megan had either crawled or walked or limped over to. She's in a driveway. She's in a driveway on the side of the driver's side. She's in a driveway. Tory sits down.
In the front passenger seat?
In the front passenger seat.
Okay.
He's sitting. I guess just kind of shocked also. So I run over to her. I immediately ran to her. She's the forefront of my thoughts. My job as a friend in general is just naturally is to protect my friend, protect. So now I'm in defense mode on the behalf of Megan. I ran to her. She's on the floor. I never looked at her feet. I never really just got to look at her. I just know
You're listening to StreetTV.
I ran to her and she grabbed me. She had blood. So in my head, she had got shot because shots just went off and she's bleeding. That's what I think. So I see Tory coming around the vehicle. It's dark. Lights are flat, hitting him. It's almost like a scary scene. So again, I'm in defense mode. I see him coming around the vehicle, and in my head, I'm thinking he's about to come over here and attack us.
Mm-hmm. Do you see whether or not when he's coming around the vehicle if he still has the gun?
I don't believe he had the gun.
Okay.
So like I said, I just thought he was coming over to attack us. So I stepped in between where he was coming to where Megan was, And at that point, that's when the assault between me and him happened. He assaulted me, and Quan then he just comes and he picks me up like a little doll, and he's like, Kelsey, they do this all the time. And I said, huh? She's bleeding. She's been shot. I don't know if y'all know she's shot. By that time, he's already to where Megan's at. So, I don't know what goes on in that driveway.
Who comes towards Megan? Is that Quan or Tory?
So initially, Tory comes,
Yeah.
and that's where I stepped in, and we had an altercation. He physically assaulted me, and then Quan came and separated him from me.
What exactly did he do when he was assaulting you?
I mean, everything. My adrenaline was so high. I don't know if he was hitting me with a closed fist or slapping me. It was just a physical altercation.
Were you wearing a necklace that night?
I was, and I'm gonna go to that part too. Now Tory's in the driveway with Megan. Quan is holding me. Like I said, he's big. He just picked me up and said, "They do this all the time, Kelsey." And I said, "Huh? No, like she's bleeding. She's been shot, to my knowledge." And so I'm still in defense mode. I'm still in, I gotta protect her.
To StreetTV.
So I look up and I see the vehicle is in the middle of the road and it's on. The door is open. So my initial reaction is to cause a distraction, and I jumped into the vehicle and I threw it in jerk, and it worked.
What does that mean?
I just jerked it, made it move,
Okay.
made it move just to get him away from Megan. Because in my head I'm thinking he's over here gonna just attack.
So you got in the driver's seat of the car and moved it
and
a little
I jerked. I made it jerk.
Okay.
I didn't even move it. Didn't even drive or anything. I just made it jerk.
Okay.
And so when I did that, it did exactly what I needed it to do, get Tory away from Megan. And so I don't know how he got to the vehicle. I don't know if he ran or walked, but he got to me really quick. And that's when he started pulling me by my hair. He was pulling me by my hair really hard. And again, I wasn't afraid for my life when the incident was going on with Megan. I was in defense mode. But then I became afraid for my life when he started pulling my hair and my neck, because it was really, really hard. That's when the necklace.
When you said he pulled on your neck, what do you mean?
He was almost I didn't lose my breath, so I wouldn't say choking, but he was pulling my neck and my hair, and then so here comes Quan again. Quan he's in between us, but Tory has a good grip. He's not letting go. So it's kind of like tug of war at this point with my head and body, and I'm scared. And I kind of dumb myself down just to get him to let me go. And I said, Tory, what are we doing? What are we doing? And when I said that, he released. He let go. And so now Megan is standing. We're all standing at the front driver door.
Did you see how Megan got to the front driver door at all?
I can't tell. No,
You're
she just
listening to StreetTV.
hop, walk. I can't tell you, but she was there. She was standing at the front driver door, and Quan. They're just get in the car. We didn't have a pushback about getting in the car because we're in the middle of nowhere. At this point, we don't know what to do. We honestly didn't even think about calling 911 at this moment or anything. It was all a blur.
Now, did you have on long nails that night?
I did. My nails were broken off.
Okay.
That was during your
with
fight
the
with Tory?
altercation with Tory,
Okay.
correct. So now we get in the vehicle,